Joining us now to share some insights on the important topic of federal regulation is Ethan Lane. He's the executive director of the Public Lands Council and NCBA Federal Lands. Ethan, for those who may be unfamiliar with the Public Lands Council, can you tell us a little bit about the goals of the organization?
Of course. The Public Lands Council serves as a one-stop shop for our affiliates throughout the West to really have one place to go and talk specifically about federal grazing permits and how they can be better implemented to protect ranchers operating in the West. So our single goal is to advocate for those ranchers in Washington, D.C.
Had a busy year this last year. Tell us about some of your accomplishments.
We really did have a busy year, and coming out of the last administration, we wanted to make sure we took advantage of what we thought would be a positive administration that understood some of the challenges that faced us. So we really put out some aggressive goals coming into this administration. BLM Planning 2.0 was a real concern for ranchers in the West. It was one of those midnight regulations that we heard a lot about coming out of the Obama administration. We really led the charge in this industry to use the Congressional Review Act to pull that regulation back. We were one of the few groups to successfully use the CRA, and that really is the product of cattle producers and affiliates from around the country, not just in the West, making it clear to Congress that this was something that needed to happen. So, we got that out of the way right up front. We've really worked a lot on deregulation, and just in the last few months, we've seen a reduction of 2 million acres in national monument designations from the administration that really has provided some relief in parts of the West that have suffered for the last 20 years under unnecessary restrictions.
But still some unfinished work to do. What are some of the priorities for 2018?
Well, now that we've gotten through this first year, we've managed to secure some relief. We have the sage grouse plans being reevaluated, which is going to give other producers in that huge area of the West a little bit of peace of mind that we're going to maybe get some guidance that's going to protect them a little bit from unnecessary harm there. We're really looking towards the long-term goal of making that environment better for producers for the next 20, 30, 40 years.
Well, and I wanted to ask you that question. I mean, what are some opportunities that you see for long-term reform as it relates to public lands?
Well, in the West and with federal grazing permit holders, you hear about Range Reform 94 a lot. This was the Babbitt Department of Interior under the Clinton administration changing the way grazing permits were implemented, and we have been dealing with the consequences since 1995. This administration, this Department of Interior, Secretary Zinke at the helm, we feel like is a perfect opportunity to go back to the drawing board and fix some of these issues that now, after several decades of this being in practical application, we know where the failure points are. We know what's not working, and we just heard this morning in some of the Cattlemen's College sessions some of the real challenges facing both producers and federal agencies in making these things work. I think what we're seeing is everybody knows where we want to go, but we've got to go back there and clear out the cobwebs to make it work right.
And PLC is celebrating a unique milestone this year, 50 years, is that right?
That's right, 50 years.
What do you have planned?
We're going to be meeting in Park City, Utah for our 50th anniversary this year. It's going to be a fantastic meeting. We're expecting a list of high-profile federal representatives. Hopefully the Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Interior may join us. We're expecting a good crowd, and as PLC has sort of established its voice over the last few decades, it's become kind of a one-stop shop for those ranchers that are really focusing on federal grazing permits. So this will be a good chance to look back and also kind of look towards the future and where we're going from here.
Fantastic. Critically important to our industry. We appreciate all you do.
Thank you.
For more information on the issues that impact federal lands and the ranchers that graze there, be sure to visit the website publiclandscouncil.org.